Guess what? Great people stand out. Great people ask when they don't know. Great people take in the same information as everybody else, but they fuse it through their own perspective. Great people realize that they have something special inside. Sure, they care about what people think. Sure, they want to win, but they know that their path to success is when they bring out their creativity. They're not interested in being you. They want to be them. They just want to be the best version of them. Hi everybody and welcome to the show. I'm Charlie Harary and it is great to be back together with you today. You know, we've all been down that road where we've seen something, a goal, a vision. Maybe you saw a movie or heard a song or you're at a wedding or a funeral and you saw it and you felt inspired. This vision of who you are, the dream of what you've always wanted. And so as soon as we get it, we run off to it and then we stumble and fall and sort of give up and let our dreams float away. But yet others seem to achieve high degrees of success. Have you ever asked yourself, what is that thing that some people have that leads them towards their goals, their destiny, that you don't have? I've spent years researching and teaching, and it is my personal belief that the potential of success lies in everyone. But for so many of us, and for you maybe watching today, we lack the missing ingredient to unlock this success. Now notice I said ingredient. The truth is, it's just one concept. It's one concept that can release the greatness and success we so desire. Now today, I'm going to share this concept with you that I believe will change your life forever. Now I know you're thinking, okay Charlie, I got it. It's got to be more than just one idea and one concept. It's more complex. Well, let me share with you how I came across this truth. Years ago, I had the opportunity to travel with a certain scholar of biblical wisdom. You see, several people were supposed to go on the trip with us, but I think through the hand of God, everyone ended up canceling except for me. Now, this man is a well-respected rabbi. I mean, he has learned and taught extensively and has been studying mysticism and biblical thought and philosophy and spirituality for years. He lectures across the world with his wisdom, and we were alone. Now that is awesome. I sat down and I was not missing this opportunity. He goes, welcome. I said, thank you, Rabbi. Could I ask you a question? He says, what? I said, what's the secret of success? He's like, hi, my name is, I'm like, yeah, I know who you are. Now, let's go on, Rabbi. I got like 2-3 hours left before everybody comes. What's the secret of success? Now, I sat back and to be honest, I expected some like really complex answer that had parts that I didn't understand. And he sat back with me, and you gotta be there with me. I'm sitting there overlooking the sacred hills of northern Israel. And I'm with this rabbi alone in a car. And he turns to me and says the following: success? That's easy. It's just one word. I was like, what? You say one word? And I'm like, okay, you gotta tell me the word. Like, what's the word? But before I get into that word, I wanna tell you a little story. You know, my wife and I have a little disagreement. I would say it's an argument, but then I would lose. It's more of a disagreement. What's our favorite age? Now, my wife's favorite age is 0 to 2. I don't know. There's something about that age that she loves. They're little, they sit in that little bouncy all day. They don't say anything. You know what I'm talking about? Like you give them a spoon and they're happy. Like when grandma comes in with like half of Toys R Us, she's like, I got you the kitchen set. And they're like, here's a little spoon and they're good to go. You know what I'm saying? She loves that age. They don't talk back. They don't go anywhere. They snuggle on demand. To my wife, that age is bliss. Now to me, if you can't at least wrestle with them, like there's not much going on. So in my opinion, keep them alive until they get to be a little bit more fun. Now, my favorite age is the next age, 2 to 5. Am I right? 2 to 5? That's where it all happens. You know what I'm saying? When you hit 2, you can't really do much, but by the time you graduate 5, you've learned like every single basic life skill. You can walk and talk, eat, go to the bathroom. Every life skill you have right now, you got from 2 to 5. Then afterwards, it's like math and vocabulary, and then maybe you get married and you're good to go. But basically, the skills that's getting you through life, 2 to 5. Now, during these years, your growth looks like this. This is success times 1,000. 3-year-olds, you ever watch them? They learn and grow and grow and grow and grow. And the question is how? How do kids this age grow so much? How do they achieve so much success in such a small period of time? Well, have you ever watched a 3-year-old? I can tell you one thing. If you've ever seen a bunch of 3-year-olds in a park, you're never going to see them sitting around like, oh man, I am so bored. Like, I did the swings like twice. I mean, anyone have a Wii I can play with? Ever. 3-year-olds at a park, they're like bees. Like everywhere they go, they're unstoppable. They don't even know how to walk. You see, walking comes later in life. When you're 3, you're standing or running. There's 2 modes. You ever give a 3-year-old a cookie? They stick out their hand, and then what do? I have another hand, you know. And you go 1 per customer, and they're like, I will stand here for the rest of my life until you give me that cookie, right? What do? Right away, you give them the cookie. 3-year-olds, you ever watch mom take 3-year-old shopping? Is this not the best? She goes to the supermarket and puts her little 3-year-old in that front load of the shopping cart, and she has no idea of the ambush that is waiting for her, right? She's looking for flour and makes the wrong turn, and now she's in the cookie aisle. And she knows she's busted, so she's going slowly down that aisle, and she's about to be out, and as soon as she's free, that little boy looks up and realizes where he is. And he looks at her as if they found the treasure together, and he's like, oh, Mommy, cookies. And she negotiates, son, you had a snack in the car, and if you're good, maybe Mommy will give you a snack when you get back into the car. And he looks at her as if to say, really? You want to do this again? In public? You're on, girlfriend. Ah! Right? 3-year-olds, he turns to his younger brother, and he's like, 18 seconds, I own her. She's like, whatever you need, cookies off the shelf. Why? Nobody messes with 3-year-old. Why? Why are 3-year-olds unbeatable and unstoppable? Why are they so alive? It's because they intuitively embody the same principle that the rabbi taught me. They live and breathe the ingredient of success. Well, what is that ingredient? It's one word: desire. A 3-year-old doesn't like things. They want them badly, so badly that it's with all their heart and soul. Their goals may be childish, but when they see something, they want it. They wouldn't just like it. They wouldn't just rather it. They want it. In fact, they want things more than you want them not to have it, and you know right away, which is why you don't mess with a 3-year-old. For us, we would like to be successful. We'd prefer to have love and health and purpose. We would rather a really good job. We would like it, but as long as it doesn't interfere with my life, right? My comfort zone, my need for sleep, TV, and food. I'd rather be happy and fulfilled as long as it's not too hard to get. You ever watch a 2-year-old learn how to walk? You ever seen that? It's like a clown show, right? They get up, fall down, get up, fall down. We're like embarrassed for them. If it was us, we would try twice and then crawl into a car and learn how to drive, right? That 2-year-old doesn't care. She doesn't worry about how it looks. She wants it. And she'll go after it 1,000,000 times until she gets it. When you live with that much desire, you live with every fiber of your being. You attack the world with enthusiasm and energy, and the world is yours. When you live like that, how could you sleep? 3-year-olds grow and learn and strive and excel, not because they go to the right school or they have the right training. It's because they have the right attitude. In Hebrew, there's a word for this. There's a word that represents this deep desire. It's called ratzon. Biblical scholars say that those people that embody this true desire, true ratzon, can shake the heavens. In fact, one of the greatest heroes of all time, King David, in Psalms said, God opens his hands and satisfies all the living creatures with desire, with this ratzon. What happened? We were all born with this desire. We were born with this ability to stare down challenge and overcome it. How did we go from wanting to grow and accomplish to losing that luster, that courage, that resilience? So it happens at around 7, 8 years old. I see this with all my kids. I put them on the bus every morning. Now, in the wintertime, it's the same routine. It's cold, so it's hat, jacket, gloves, knapsack. Simple. This routine works from when they're little as they get older, but something happens around 7, 8 years old. Hat, jacket, gloves, knapsack. My 7-year-old turns to me and hands me back the hat. And I said, no, honey, you got to put it on. It's cold. And she says, I'm not wearing my hat, Daddy. I said, but it's cold. She says, yeah, I know, but I'm not wearing my hat. How come? You're going to get sick. Yeah, maybe, Daddy, but if I wear my hat, I'm going to look like a geek. And at that moment, something changes. Something is born within the mind of my child that is different than what she had before. Something happens in where she decides that although I may cause my body physical harm, there is something far more important to worry about. It's not my health, my accomplishments, and it's not my personal greatness. I have to worry about something new. There's something greater, my image. It may be cold, but it is not worth not being accepted by my friends. And at that moment, something happens. We stop worrying about growth, about change, about striving for greatness, and start worrying about how it looks. Being great is replaced with looking great. And worse, we start actually believing it. We believe that we're not as valuable as we once thought. There's something else out there that we need to conform to. We need to be like others. What we really want in life is not greatness, it's acceptance, it's approval. So we don't trust ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't want to be different. When I was younger, I had one obsession: basketball. That was my life. I lived, drank, ate basketball. And now when you're growing up in the 90s and you love basketball, you can sum up your life's mission in 3 words. Be like, you know it, Mike. Be like Mike. That's right, Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever. That's right, you Kobe and LeBron fans, the greatest player to ever play the game. Now, I was obsessed with Michael Jordan. I wore the wristband high up. I convinced my mom to buy me Air Jordans. I ate my Wheaties, drank my Gatorade, and wagged my tongue. Whatever it took to be like Mike. The problem was that I was a short, white, Jewish kid. Not exactly Michael Jordan. Maybe his agent or his doctor or lawyer, but not Michael Jordan. Now, for some reason, I was on my school's basketball team. Now, one night after basketball practice, I thought the gym was empty. Now, I had seen this great Jordan move over the weekend and figured I would practice it a few times until I had it down pat. I heard a noise and I spun around, and it was my coach. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I was just practicing the latest Jordan move." He looked at me and he's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm trying to get better at basketball. I mean, who better to copy than MJ?" He smiled at me and gave me one of the best pieces of advice I have ever heard. He said, if you want to be good at basketball, why don't you stop trying to be like Mike and start trying to be like you? A great basketball player works to leverage their talents, using their skills to be the best player they can be, not trying to be somebody else. Now, this advice stuck with me for a long time, and it applies to everything in life. When we want to be like somebody else, when we're looking for that image, when we're trying to gain everyone's approval and acceptance, you know what happens? We may get that approval. We may feel accepted. We may actually impress people. But along the way, we lose something. We lose the passion. We lose the excitement. We lose the creativity. We lose that desire because we lose ourselves. When we're pretending to be somebody that we're not, when we're not accessing our unique purpose, we're trying to access someone else's purpose, and we lose it. We lose the thrill. We stop being 3-year-olds. We lose their desire, the desire that makes us great. How? Because we think we're not that valuable. Because we believe that there's a better way. And we believe that the answers to problems and challenges, somebody else knows, right? You get to school and they tell you there's one answer, and someone has it in the back of the book, and don't look until the test is over. We go through life and assume that the person on television or on a screen or a poster, they have it. We stop being us. We start being them. We try to impress. We try to make people like us. We stop being the true us. We stop being true to our personal image, and everything gets lost. We lose that creative flair. We want to look good and not be good. We're looking for your opinion. We want to look good in your eyes and lose looking good in my eyes. You know, you grow up and you learn that certain jobs are more impressive than others, right? Certain styles or tastes or accents or beliefs are better. So we look at ourselves and we start to second guess. Maybe my idea is stupid. It's not worth saying out loud because I'm sure someone thought of it. Have you ever had that? You ever feel like that? When you want to ask a question but you don't raise your hand? Because I'm sure if it was a good question, someone would ask it and I don't really want to stand out. Well, guess what? Great people stand out. Great people ask when they don't know. Great people take in the same information as everybody else, but they fuse it through their own perspective. Great people realize that they have something special inside. Sure, they care about what people think. Sure, they want to win, but they know that their path to success is when they bring out their creativity. They're not interested in being you. They want to be them. They just want to be the best version of them. That's their drive. That's what gets them up in the morning. That's why they can't go to bed at night. You see, we've all got it, but we lose it. How much of your life is spent on trying to be somebody else? Trying to be the person that you saw on a screen or a magazine, trying to be the ideal student or leader, trying to dress or talk or act or imitate somebody else, judging your success by comparing it to somebody else. Maybe trying to be somebody else is exactly what's preventing you from being the best you. Maybe that's what's holding back your desire. You're serving your image and not yourself, not your purpose, not your soul, not your core. Look at your life today and see where you can bring out your creativity. Ask yourself, does it bother me when I fail? Why? 3-year-olds try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. Great people, that's what they do. They fail all day because the only way, the only path to success is when you're bringing out the best of you. And the only way you know how to get there is when you fail because you're trying to find it. Success. The one word that I was taught years ago that really embodies what success is. It's not about having stuff. It's not about getting somewhere. It's the desire. It's the journey. And along the journey, along the way, that gas. You can't achieve success if you don't want it with every fiber of your being. You can't achieve greatness if you'd rather it, if you would like it, if you would prefer it. You achieve it when you want it. And every one of us wanted it. We were younger. We came to this world and we approached it with that desire. All of us, you and me, all of us stared at our mom and demanded the cookie. All of us fell on the floor learning to walk and picked ourselves up and tried again. All of us fought sleep like it was the worst thing in the world. But along the way, we traded it. We traded that growth and that accomplishment for something more important. We traded it for approval. We traded it for our image. And when we did that, we wanted people to like us so badly. When we spent our time trying to figure out what success was, and we thought it was what someone else thought it was. We thought like there's a standard out there that everyone gets judged on by success. It must be the money. It must be the size that you're wearing. It must be how you look. What happened along the way when we believed that it was something else, we lost that enjoyment for life. For trying new things out, for being creative, for having fun, for enjoying what it feels like to fall on the ground, for believing in ourselves. We stopped trusting our uniqueness and started trusting someone else's opinion of us. We started to be like them and lost how to be like us. We tried to be like Mike and not to be like me. And so we lost ourselves. We lost our desire. We lost that uniqueness. We went from being 3 to 5, that genius for creativity, to the adult that was 2%. And now it's time to get it back. Now it's time to bring back that desire, that uniqueness, that purpose to your day. When you see yourself as unique, when you trust in your differentness, when you stop looking at some standard or some image to measure your success and you start looking at your effort as a measure of success, life feels different. It's exciting. You want to get up early because you want to be the best possible you. You get that excitement back. You get that desire back. The gas is filled in the tank and you're off to the races.